The brain doesn't learn in straight lines. It learns in cycles where you need to zoom in, you need to zoom out, and you need to constantly go through those cycles so that way you can see the different areas of refinement. This right here, this shape, is actually how we should be learning, at least in my opinion. And it's the hourglass. And I have a method behind it. I divide it into 5 sections. And these 5 sections here kind of help learners learn how to learn. This is actually the way that I like to teach, so it helps facilitate the whole philosophy around it. The first section is broad. And I'll use today's class as an example. We had a pretty big combination that we worked on today. So we started off with the jab, we have the body cross, we have the uppercut, we have another cross, we have the hook, and then we have the rear kick. It's a really good one. Very forward aggressive type of combination, especially when you have that hidden uppercut that comes out. Boom, everybody really likes that one. To us who have been training for a while, that combination is basically 5 punches and a kick. To a day one person, that's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. You know, they'll look around, you take a look at the details of these fighters who've been around for a while, can get overwhelmed. They start asking questions. How should I put my hand? How should I breathe? How do I arrange my foot? And all of those questions are really good, but at the warm-up of class, starting from there can feel like it can take a while. Because, you know, getting into the nitty-gritty, it can really open up too many details. So I want to get everybody moving first. And we have the broad section. Okay? So as we're doing that, I'll tell a day one student, just make your hands move like this. Don't worry about the details, right? We'll get into them. Let me see you move and have the mind-body connection so that way you know your right hand and your left hand, your legs are moving properly, where you're doing like basic broad motions of your body. That brings us to the second part. This part right here, this area is where we would refine. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. You have punches, you have kicks, you have rotations and everything like that. Today we had a theme around footwork. And so that's definitely an area of refinement. Nobody wants to stand around just doing footwork like this, right? Lateral, quarter circles or whatever like that. We want to move, make the mind and body work together with a little bit more tasks in mind. So in this case, the refinement of this, like I was mentioning earlier, we want to move forward aggressive. So now I'm like, as you're doing the combination, make sure that you're doing your step as you're going forward so you can feel the balance, you can feel the mobility as you're traveling using a very strong combination. That would be the area of refinement. But that brings us to the next part. This is our micro. The micro is where we can geek out, where we get all of the details. I can show you the shoulder, the hip, the breath, the elbow, how it rests on the hip, right? How you're moving forward so that way it's actually properly chambered so that way you can launch it right away with your legs. Right? And inside of this micro, there's a common theme around like, what's your goal when you come in the class? What's your goal that you're going to work on for your training? Right? But if we're trying to pick this, when we're over here first, we're going to get lost in trying to figure out which one it is. Right? But this is still a responsibility of the student. As a coach, I want to facilitate that for everyone. I may give, maybe 5 to 10 details, but I would leave it up to you to figure out which one that you want to work on. I would probably highlight one, definitely, because I want to see that in your training. But this is where we would get that lots of reps. Boom, it's got to be here. It's got to be here. Your elbow, your foot. Well, if I stay inside of the theme of the footwork, and then launch. Footwork, and then launch, right? So we have like this micro session in there. And you can get pretty micro with it because you can scale it again, right? There's like another, there's like another hourglass that's inside of it, and you can go infinitely inward. This one could be infinitely outward. So this is actually really important. These little grains of sand as they go through. You're collecting one grain at a time. Don't get too hasty when you're trying to take handfuls and then there's stuff that's spilling out. Or maybe you think you're smart enough to bring a bucket and try to bring them, collect them all at the same time. A really great practitioner will see this opportunity as discipline, where inside of these little tiny grains of sand that you can collect over time to eventually have your beach. Now let's get to the next part, because we don't want to get stuck in here too long. Right? You don't want to over sophisticate it because it's just a basic 1, 2, or maybe like it's a kick. But we want to feel free. So this next section right here would be opening back up. Right? Now that we did our discipline, we want to open it back up. Bring it into our full toolbox. Bring it into the way that we approach our exchange, in the way that we do our fighting. Maybe we go back into here, right, and we have the footwork. Now you're doing the combination again. And I'm not going to go off camera, but you can see how I'm moving forward with it and bringing all the details in specifically to this combination. Now, we don't want to stay stuck in the one combination the whole time, especially those of us who have been training for a while. So we get back into this last section right here. We go back to being broad. I'll let you go into the heavy bag. You can do anything that you want. Punch, kick, knee, elbow, clench work, footwork, making sure that you post on the bag properly. Don't hold it still like this. Use a technique. Or maybe I'll call you out of the heavy bag rack, do some free pads with me. Same thing. But what I really want to see, especially in the theme of class, is that whatever you did inside of this micro area, you got to bring it inside of here. You got to bring it inside of here because this would be a waste of time. You want to do this here. So let's say I'm holding pads for you, right? I'm going 1, 2, maybe I ask you to kick. Maybe I kick at you, you better shield it. Maybe I feed here, I want to see some defense, and then we have like some basic counter strikes. But as I'm moving back, I want to see that footwork that we just spent so much time on. See how the mind will balance the task between striking well, going fast and delivering power, and then still being mobile because that's what we worked on today. Right? The more and more that you do this, you'll be surprised if you just do the little grains of sand at a time, how far it'll take your Muay Thai skill. After 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, maybe multiple decades. What would it look like at that point if you just took it step by step in this nice fashion? Give it a try. Let me know how it goes for you. Comment below.